Justin, you got 25 plus out of 4 guys on a really high efficiency. What did you make of the entire game? Very up and down, high scoring affair.
Yeah, I think I've had that chat with Stu a few times after games of like, imagine once those 4 click in particular, and don't leave Nordo out, like getting an 11 there as well, and up and down game. I guess what I liked is any time that they had a run, we responded the right way, and no drop of heads, just kept staying in the moment. What's next? How do we fix things? And that's a real pleasing step forward for us, because it was only a few weeks ago where I just felt the gaps in those moments were too big, and we've seen this weekend some positive steps forward. So really pleasing to play them without them coming off a loss. I think it was good to come in and be able to just play our way straight away. We created some edges, we felt, and that's what we wanted to do. We spoke about it, and a good night for the boys for sure.
What's the key to sustaining all of those top end guys, keeping that sort of output, and then slowly making sure that you do integrate some of those role guys too?
Yeah, I think we're now in our facility, and it's a big difference for us, and it sounds weird, but just being able to get our work in the same spot, and we've got to get healthy, and then we can get whole. And what I've loved is Toy Smith-Milner's weekend's been outstanding. Come in, played big minutes. Whitey's minutes huge, and not as many tonight, but again had key relieving minutes there. And for us, that's as we can get whole and redefine what those roles look like. It starts to get exciting about if we can keep redlining and keeping our consistency quarter to quarter. So, we've got belief in who we are. We have since day one. And what I've loved is the little bit of adversity we've dealt with so far this year. No one's dropped their heads. We've kept doing our work, and now we know it's our opportunity as guys come back in to really chase who's above us.
Nordo, can you describe the feeling of being a part of a game like that, which was so high scoring? It seemed like no one could get a stop at this stretch. What was it like being out there?
It felt like that. It felt like no one could get a stop. I remember looking up in the third quarter and I was like, wow, there's a lot of points on the board here. Definitely not ticking our, markers that we want to tick each quarter. But on the flip side, I just love how the ball's moving. Everyone's getting a touch. I think, when you have, obviously tonight's a pretty rare one, but you got, 4 guys in the 20s. It becomes hard to scout. And I think that's through ball movement, and I think that's the more games we play in quick succession, I think we're just going to get better and better down that end. And then when we hit the training court, we've got to lock down on defence.
How significant was today? You've come down to the home court of the runaway league leaders. Obviously, you guys, second last night. How significant was today's performance for the team? And do you reckon it can be a springboard for the rest of the season?
Yeah, for sure. We speak about stacking good days. We've had a couple of rough days recently just with guys having illness and injuries and things like that. But what I love are the guys that, probably don't really see a lot of court time right here are stepping up. Don't get a lot of credit. The DPs, Isaac White doesn't shoot the ball once tonight, but he impacts the game in, 9 minutes, close to 10 minutes there. And that's what I love about this group. And I think, the more games we play together, we're going to grow and learn and continue to get better.
Justin, not sure if you're aware, but you've snapped a 12-game losing streak against these guys, and you've also registered the highest score by an away team against Melbourne at this stadium today. Does that just add to the significance of the day for you guys?
We knew we hadn't won in this building for a very long time. I actually remember that last time with Hodgie's dunk. We just got reminded of that one. So we know how hard it is to win in this arena, and we experienced it against Southeast earlier in the year, and we spoke about what we were like that day and how we just hung tough together and didn't worry about what had happened, kept going to what's next. And that's something that this club's done to people in this building, and that's what I loved is when they made a challenge, we came straight back to it. So huge pride in the group, but don't want this to be our defining moment of the season. This is just another step forward for us, and we've got another big week next week where we want to continue to grow.
Was that probably one of the more crucial coaches' challenges you ever had? A few seconds later, he's pulling from 3 down 2.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it was or wasn't, but Casey going out was going to hurt us, and I felt we needed a timeout anyway, so throw it out there, and I'll say, a genius move by me.
How important have these doubles been? You've played singles up until this point. Is Can you put into words how important it is to actually play sort of back-to-back games?
Yeah, it's tough to find a rhythm, and I guess the challenge that we had is, practice environment, we couldn't kind of get to the level always because we picked up another injury or an illness or whatnot. So being able to go against opposition, back-to-back and find our rhythm and consistency, I think is going to be an important part for us, and we've definitely seen some difference in us in how we've gone about it.
When you sort of look at this box score, do you see any issues, obviously defensively?
Yep.
They put up a lot of points. Do you see any issues out there defensively, or do you feel like it was more just like the nature of the game was a bit up and down like that?
Yeah, I really didn't like our first quarter because I felt we had some key breakdowns, and again, part of playing back-to-backs is being great off the film, and so that's where we'll look as a staff and see is there stuff we can do better there and make sure the messaging gets through, because that was my frustration there. And then it kind of felt like everyone was just hot out there. Like, I thought they made some tough looks, some heavy finishes that we will be happy with when we look back at it. But yeah, there's breakdowns there that we need to continue to get better at. And to Nordo's point, like, that's all we talk about in review is how we are defensively. And yeah, it's not our goal to shoot the lights out and blow teams out. But if that's how we have to win, we'll take it.
What's the key to being a connector to these imports? Obviously, they have very high ceilings from an output perspective, but you're the connector on both ends that sort of brings them together. What's the key to playing that role?
I think it probably took us a little while to figure it out, but these guys are elite shooters, so the actions we can put them in and great screens and allowing them to cut. When they're stationary, they can get held and kind of pushed around a bit. So trying to free the game up and allow them to move and cut. And I think when the ball does move and they're active, we've got elite players on this team, and Tyrell does a great job in the middle as well. And it's a lot of fun out there being that connector for sure.
Justin, what do you make of the refereeing totals with 50-odd fouls, 60-odd free throws? How did you sort of assess it?
Two teams that play physical D. I think there's always going to be more free throws in those sorts of battles. And yeah, I mean, I haven't received a tech foul for a while. That's the one that a head scratch. But outside of that, I think the refs do a really good job of just calling what they see. And a lot of free throws. Would have liked to have made a couple more to feel a bit more comfortable out there. But outside of that, pretty pleasing overall.
Well, good. Thank you for good.
Sweet.
Sweet. Thank you.